Welcome to AM Auto. The sun was just beginning to rise over the horizon, its soft orange glow spilling across the rugged landscape like paint brushed carefully over a vast canvas. The wind carried the scent of dust, pine, and adventure, an unmistakable blend that awakens any rider's spirit. Standing at the edge of a narrow trail carved into the mountains was a machine built for exactly this moment, the 2026 Yamaha XTZ 250 Tenere. Sleek, determined, and ready for the unknown, it waited patiently, its silhouette cutting sharply against the glowing sky. The moment your hand wrapped around the handlebars, it felt less like climbing onto a motorcycle and more like gripping the reins of a purpose-built explorer. The first twist of the key awakened the 250cc fuel-injected engine with a smooth, confident growl. This was no ordinary small displacement motor. Yamaha had refined it year after year, and in this 2026 iteration, it delivered more responsiveness, better heat management, and a richer torque curve designed specifically for mixed terrain journeys. The vibration was minimal, but the feedback was perfect, just enough to remind you that an engine with real character was beating beneath you. The exhaust note rose gently, crisp and controlled, echoing off the canyon walls. It was the sound of a machine that understood the meaning of balance, not too loud, not too aggressive, but powerful in its own right. With one easy press on the gear lever and a smooth release of the clutch, the Tenere rolled forward, almost gliding over the uneven gravel. Its long travel suspension absorbed every bump and dip with impressive ease. Yamaha had fine-tuned the damping to offer better mid-stroke support, giving the rider confidence even when the terrain became unpredictable. As the motorcycle picked up speed, the trail narrowed, forcing the bike to weave between rocks and brush. Yet the XTZ 250 Tenere handled it all gracefully, responding to the smallest input from the rider as if the two were connected by instinct rather than mechanics. The upgraded digital instrument cluster glowed brightly in the rising sun, offering clear readings without distraction. It displayed everything a rider might need: fuel levels, gear position, average and instant fuel consumption, and even a trip computer optimized for long off-road adventures. Yamaha knew the Tenere family was often chosen by explorers who preferred remote trails over urban streets. With that in mind, they made the 2026 model more efficient, more durable, and more intuitive. The cluster wasn't flashy, it was practical, rugged, and dependable, just like the motorcycle itself. As the trail continued upward, the surface turned from gravel to compact dirt, then to loose sand, and finally into a rocky ascent that looked intimidating even from a distance. But the XTZ 250 Tenere wasn't intimidated. Its lightweight frame and balanced geometry allowed it to climb with surprising poise. The knobby tires clawed into the earth with determination, gripping surfaces that would make heavier bikes struggle. Standing on the pegs, you could feel how naturally the motorcycle aligned itself beneath you. The handlebar position felt perfect, and the seat, though designed for endurance, didn't get in the way during the technical sections. Reaching the top of the hill revealed a breathtaking panorama of rolling valleys, winding rivers, and distant mountain peaks. But the adventure was just beginning. Ahead was a long, open plateau with stretches of dirt road that begged to be conquered. The Tenere surged forward with renewed energy, the engine reaching its stride in the mid-range. Yamaha engineered a stronger crankshaft and improved intake efficiency, making the 2026 model smoother at higher RPMs. The result was a motorcycle that felt eager but never strained, pushing forward with a confidence far beyond what one might expect from a 250cc machine. The wind resistance grew stronger as the speed increased, but the redesigned windscreen cut through it with impressive effectiveness. Yamaha tweaked its angle and height to give riders better comfort during long rides. Even at highway speeds, the buffeting was minimal. The Tenere remained stable, predictable, and planted, thanks in part to its reinforced chassis and fine-tuned aerodynamics. Whether gliding across an open desert road or carving through forest trails, the motorcycle felt like it belonged everywhere. Farther down the plateau, the dirt road suddenly dipped into a river crossing. The water glistened under the sunlight, moving swiftly but shallow enough to challenge the bike without overwhelming it. The 2026 Tenere's elevated air intake and excellent ground clearance came into play here. With steady throttle control, the bike entered the water, sending ripples across the surface. Its traction remained secure, and the engine never hesitated. The waterproofing upgrades introduced this year ensured that even in deeper crossings, the electrical systems stayed safe and dry. On the other side of the river, the landscape shifted yet again. The trail became smoother, wider, and more inviting, as if encouraging the rider to open the throttle a little more. The Tenere responded instantly, pushing forward with excitement. Its fuel efficiency was remarkable, allowing the rider to travel hundreds of kilometers on a single tank. This was exactly what Yamaha intended for the XTZ 250 lineage, a motorcycle that could take you farther than expected, demanding little in return. Hours passed as the Tenere devoured miles of terrain, from dusty open plains to steep rocky paths. The sun climbed high and then began its slow descent, casting long shadows across the earth. Yet fatigue never truly set in. The bike's ergonomics, optimized for long adventures, kept the ride surprisingly comfortable. The seat, designed with dual-density foam, prevented soreness during extended journeys. The handlebars and footpeg placement allowed for natural posture, reducing strain on the back and shoulders. By the time the sun began to sink behind the mountains, the sky turned shades of pink and gold. The Tenere's LED headlight flickered on automatically, illuminating the path ahead with clarity and precision. The cool evening air carried a silence that made every moment feel almost cinematic. Riding the 2026 Yamaha XTZ 250 Tenere through this landscape wasn't just transportation, it was storytelling. It was exploration. It was freedom manifesting in every twist of the throttle, every gust of wind, every rumble of the engine beneath you. As the final stretch of the journey approached, the bike rolled to a gentle stop on a cliff overlooking a valley bathed in moonlight. The engine idled softly, as if reflecting on the adventure it had just conquered. You turned off the ignition, and the world fell into quiet calm. The Tenere stood beside you like a loyal companion, not just a machine, but a symbol of resilience, curiosity, and the endless spirit of discovery. In that moment, it became clear. The 2026 Yamaha XTZ 250 Tenere wasn't just engineered for the road ahead. It was crafted for riders who refuse to stay still, who chase horizons, who seek stories written in dust and wind. A motorcycle built not just to travel, but to explore.